What's going on, folks? I am Goat. Welcome back to Warframe. I need to do a thing right here real quick. That's not what I was trying to do at all. No. Configure. Thank you. Let's just do a little bit of this number. There. Doesn't look like everybody's trying to look up my nostrils now. Just saying. So, hi. So we got hotfix 35.5.6 for Dante Unbound. Now, this is based very heavily on public outcry or community outcry towards the game, developers specifically, because they approached Dante last week and Nezha with a sledgehammer. I mean, they came through with like a jackhammer against a fucking piece of cardboard. They just went bonkers. So what we're looking at, today's hotfix continues last week's efforts to address community feedback since the changes of 35.5.3. More specifically, we have adjusted Dante's Dark Verse, Page Flight, and Tragedy, Nezha's Divine Retribution Augment, Archititron Slam Capacity buff, with player sentiment in mind. We have also made quality of life changes to Overguard, which we will talk about, and line of sight checks, which is also a really good fucking thing in certain respects. On other Warframes, based on the feedback sparked by Dante's balance changes. Full details are listed below in the dedicated section. So the Dante changes made Dark versus line of sight checks more reliable to bring it in with Tragedy. So Dark verse we already knew was line of sight. Cool. I'm fine with that. Tragedy, still remaining line of sight, is horseshit. Page flight, the birds are no longer a fucking joke. Cool. Because of the return of page flight status damage increase, we have added a 1 billion damage cap to Tragedy, purely as a preventative measure against game errors. I'm okay with that. They could have honestly taken the fucking cap off of the line of sight cap off of Tragedy, which I think would have been a much smarter and much more intelligent fucking thing to do, considering that is a real humdinger of a thing that pissed the community off. The fact that they literally just put LOS on fucking Dante's Tragedy is stupid. Overguard interactions with Vex Armor, Rage, and Hunter Adrenaline. They have basically fixed this, okay, by basically allowing for melee to work in lieu of taking health damage or so on and so forth. So that's a good fix. Line of sight improvements. So there are now two variations, okay? First type, to check and see if there is any part of the enemy that has been drawn on the screen. So that part of the enemy, big or small, is considered. The second type is to check for enemies that are not on screen. We now check the line of sight with the enemy's head, torso, and feet instead of only their body. Basically meaning that you can hit more enemies with this line of sight. So they're softening the hard cap of line of sight. That's good. The effect is this. Excalibur's Radial Blind, Excalibur's Radial Howl, Dante's Dark Verse, Helmet's Sickening Pulse, Hildren's Pillage, thank God. Mag's Pull, also thank God. Nova's Nullstar, that's kind of whatever. Or Nullstar Augment, I should say. Hildren's Aegis Storm, it's whatever. Korra's Whipclaw, thank you, Jesus. And then Corvex's Shinkra Pillar, or whatever that is. Shrinkra. Yeah, whatever. I've never been able to pronounce that right. Line of sight improvements in the future will be Ember's Fire Blast, which is kind of whatever. I mean, it's good. Gyre's Rotor Swell and Vauban's Tesla Bank, which is okay. And then Zephyr's Tailwind Dive Bomb. Cool. The Retribution change. Divine Retribution change. Now, this is huge. Okay, this is basically exactly what the community said was fair, because initially just having max range, you were at like 52, a high 52 meter range. That is kind of on the bonker side, and I'll give you that. But them gutting 50% off of the fucking ability range, no matter what your modding was really dumb. Taking you down to like 26 and change fucking meters or some bullshit. It was stupid. Okay? So what they've done now is quite interesting. So, reducing Divine Spears by, after reading player feedback, reducing Divine Spears by 50% rendered the augment quite limiting and carved heavily into the mod slot space to accommodate for it. So instead, it's been given to keep it within reason, but also bring back much more manageable level without dipping into the extreme. I agree, and I will show you. Archititron, like I said, they absolutely goofed on that, and they have since fixed it. Deep Archimedia fixes, general fixes, so on and so forth, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so that's what we know. That's what we know right now. So as far as what they've done, okay, this is interesting as shit as what they've done with, let's say, something like Nezha. Now, this Divine Retribution build with Nezha was fucking dead to me. Now, this is a 280% radius build. Without the Divine Retribution augment mod on there, this is like a 52.9 some bullshit meter range build. Now, some people will look at this and go, okay, that's 15 fucking meters well, yeah, it's basically 14, 15 meters cut right off the top. Yeah, you're right, it is. But when it was down in the 26 range, it was painful. So we keep our damage multiplier based on ability strength, which, trust me, 123% ability strength, totally fine. I mean, like, it's totally fine. But they basically made it to where the radius is 14 meters, and then your mods kick in. Okay. I'm alright with that. 100% alright with this. Let's see here. Cube Fortress, why not? Let's do something fun. If I can fucking hide... Bro, what the fuck? I still have a gripe about Dante. And it comes back to tragedy being line of sight. Everything else is fine. 100%. Everything else is fine. And I'm not trying to sound like, you know... Oh, fuck off. Let's give him my goddamn energy. I'm being very impatient. Because I don't like editing videos.
Grenier have shut down the environmental systems, sending modified life support capsules. Use these to sustain your environment or attach to the catalysts to begin harvesting.
I'm hitting these bitches down the hole now, baby. This is a little broader area, but this is what it was doing before. Good time. Thumbs up on fixing, at least balancing with community feedback, because the community basically said, look, if you're going to diminish it, either diminish the status damage multiplier out a little bit, or diminish out the, or lessen the range hit that you put on this motherfucker. So there's that. Now, we all saw what Dante did before. Okay? There's no question as far as what Dante did before. I just posted the fucking video like 2 videos ago. You know what? I'll even do... I don't even remember where the hell I was at. We'll just go to Ani. I think it was Ani where I shot it. Honestly, don't remember now. Completely gutting the AoE off of tragedy is a tragedy.
Enemies have grown fierce. Use all that you have learned.
Good enough. don't know why the hell I just did that.
Life support has been cut off. They're trying to choke you out. Hold on. I'm sending auxiliary life support.
Okay, so we have our birdies. We're good here, right? Maybe. Look at that. Nobody around the corner fucking took any damage. Putting and keeping line of sight on tragedy is fucking stupid. You want to limit the range of tragedy? Okay. Like, I'm actually okay if they diminish the range of tragedy so it's not so much of an AoE buff. But as of right now, like, at least I'm not blocking my own attacks now. That's good. They did fix that. Look, I'm gonna put myself in between this guy. I'm still blocking my own attacks. Bro Beans over here didn't take a lick of damage. They apparently didn't fix it.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
I mean, basically everything has to be in front of you, no matter what. Because this whole fucking 5-meter line of sight nonsense, it don't work. Or the 5-meter AoE around Dante. This is dumb. This was supposed to be ultimate, make you feel really fucking good about using this ability, and honestly, like Darkverse. Look at these guys. They're dying from Darkverse. So this is supposed to make me feel better. How do I feel better about this?
Get ready for a capsule.
Look, these guys walking up here. They ain't taking shit. Guess I aim more this way. But the guys behind the pillar, see, look, they're totally fine. I know. You can't shoot a gun through a pillar. So why should an ability do it? Why should other Warframes be able to have their abilities affect enemies behind cover? That's my point. Tragedy was meant to be an attack to hit the enemies behind cover. Darkverse was the one that was supposed to have the limitation of being able to hit the enemies behind the cover. So even if Tragedy didn't kill them, at least it would wing them really hard. So why in the fuck they didn't just reduce the range of the build to make it not so nukish instead of this? They partially gave us what we wanted, you know, so they gave us page flight back. You know, they gave us a small AoE around Dante that doesn't work. You know, and they've taken away some of the hard limit of Dante's tragedy. Or, yeah, tragedy and Darkverse both. Because, hey, we're stuck with this fucking stupid line of sight. So it's no longer a hard line of sight to where a box can stop it, even though you can see the enemy. So, I don't know, man. Like, I just have a big problem with the fact that they are partially listening to the community. The Nezha bit, they didn't say a fucking thing about it until the dev short yesterday. And then didn't even give us information in the fucking update, as you saw. They just said we've softened it up. Cool. They need to take line of sight off of tragedy. Once they do that, this fucking Warframe is perfect. Even, like I said, let them diminish the overall base range of the ability and then let us mod to whatever we can get out of it, which is fine. I'm totally 100% down with that. But to limit it down to where it's a 5-meter AoE and you can still block your own fucking attacks is fucking stupid. So, I don't know, man. I mean, like, this is just fucking frustrating to me, because it's like, they say they listen to us, and they say that they take our feedback, and then we see these updates, and it's like, okay, cool, man, you guys are definitely listening to our fucking feedback, but you're still doing whatever the fuck you want. And I'm gonna be honest, okay? Like, I try not to gripe about Digital Extremes. I really do. I try very hard, because this is a really good game. Okay, this is a really, really good, entertaining, fun fucking game to play. It's got a lot of really cool lore behind it. There's so much good about Warframe. So I try not to knock their dicks in the dirt, especially it being a free-to-play, and it's basically they're making money off of, you know, the goodwill of the community. But at the same time, they're also somewhat taking advantage of that goodwill of the community by lying and saying, you know, that they value our feedback, but obviously in the case of something that's literally a new release Warframe, they only value it so much because they don't want us to do what the frame was intended to do. They would much rather make it, you know, like, remember in my What the Fuck DE video, they said that they were going after Overguard, but then gutted the shit out of the hard cap line of sight that they put on Tragedy to begin with. Why? There was never a need for a line of sight on the 4. Period. If they would just remove that, this would be, you know, so much better. Keep the line of sight on Darkverse. I don't care. That's fine. I'm totally fine with that. But the line of sight on Tragedy is just still proving that they are not listening to us. So, and we, the community of Warframe, we're the ones who are their revenue stream. We're the people who constantly keep them in business. And to be lied to like this, and then just have them kind of just randomly, like, seemingly get drunk and just drop hammers on everything they're fucking doing without either fully testing it out and giving us what they think it should be, or by coming back after it's been released and going, it's too much. You know, and let everybody have fun with it for a minute and then just gut the shit out of it and then say, oh, no, we're listening, guys. I see you're listening, but with one ear. I don't know. But that's where I'm at for now. So, yeah, folks, thanks very much for watching. As always, we'll catch you in the next one, all right?